Welcome back, Weather Kingdom. We are going to be taking a look at the tropics as we got some interesting areas to watch. Soon to be Tropical Storm Dexter in the Gulf of Mexico. And before anyone even says, this storm has been a headache for many people already with this hurricane season. There's a lot of questions, and I will say, I am very high going to say that this will become a tropical storm, regardless of what people say. Okay, you get those people where they're like, oh, this is going to develop, and then 10 seconds later, they're now saying, oh, it's not because of this happening. Look, I take a look at everything. I take a look at the trends. I take a look at that. And all I want to say is, yes, we do have some interesting stuff going on. It did make landfall earlier today, and people have been questioning if the low-level center is ever going to get off the Georgia's coast. First off, I just want to say here, this is a very, very, pretty healthy storm, okay, for what I was expecting, okay? These are the cloud tops. So I just want to put you here in this position, and I want to bring you first here of what's going on. So we kind of play this out, and what we see here, we see a low level center right here going north. This is actually heading pretty much what I could see is due north this way. In that case scenario, the low level center is just going to continue to die up here. But there's some interesting stuff going on here too. You can tell we got a bit of interesting stuff going on. Alright, we have a bit of pretty good mid-level circulation. This is that convection that's been developing off the coast, and you can kind of see we do have a little bit hints of winds low-level clouds doing this and kind of coming back like this, like we might be getting that mid-level. We definitely have a mid-level. That mid-level is all the way wrapped around here. But underneath all this convection, there is a possible chance that that mid-level could become a low level. And I'm very interested what's going to happen when the National Hurricane Center does. Because right now, National Hurricane Center is giving this a very little chance that they still believe that this low-level center is just going to be the dual one. I don't think this is going to be it because first off, it hasn't been any convection under it for many hours. There's not too much going on with it, okay? But we do have some southerly flow here. We got maybe an attempt of a low-level center trying to develop under all this deep thunderstorm convection. And if this continues to persist throughout tonight, we're going to see that continue to persist. We're going to see that low-level center die, and a new transformation low-level center is going to develop in the Gulf. All right. Earlier, I think I would say this is probably a PTC. Okay, in my opinion. But that's just in my opinion. But what I can see here, what's going on is, this is that we got a low-level center going right into here. I mean, at this point, even if it went west, it's not going to do anything. Okay, I don't believe that's going to happen. What I believe here is, if we continue to see persist convection wrap around this area, we are going to get a low-level center to develop sooner or later. That's usually what happens, especially with these warm waters. There's not that much shear. This seems like it just keeps on going its merry way. I don't think that's the true low-pressure center, okay? There's been a lot of questions and stuff. So now I want to take a look at the water temps on why another thing I think this is going to develop pretty rapidly too. We take a look at the Western Atlantic, and first off, we got a very warm water mount. This storm is coming off. This storm potential is going to be like this, alright? That's the window of opportunity. Alright, we got up to 32 degrees Celsius all the way up in the charts into the Louisiana area. Even better as you get closer to the Louisiana area. Alright, very low level. So, first off, the water temps are ridiculous warm. Very, very warm. Very good for tropical development, regardless. Bermuda, too. I mean, I would say even the subtropics. We got a good 30 degrees Celsius. Really starting to show off the Atlantic coastline here. Too, even the MDR not has been so strong, but 27, 28 degrees Celsius. Very warm waters. Even out in the Atlantic here, we take a look at the tropical Atlantic. Very warm waters, too. They are continuing to warm. We are continuing to see this rapidly warm, and we will see. Okay, we now take a look at this here, and this is some interesting stuff I want to watch with you guys. Is the radar. What is going on? We have a radar that actually shows that mid-level circulation, and what I can see on radar is we do have a mid-level circulation going on, and I could see a low-level circulation trying to develop. Okay, I think the mid-level in this case scenario is going to win. It's going to take a little bit. Okay, it's going to take some time to drill it down into the surface, but I do believe we will be talking about a new area of development that's going to be off the Gulf of Mexico. Very warm waters regardless. Very slow moving too. Not too much movement. But what I can see here, if we take a look at the TLH radar, I want you guys to just play this through. And what do we see here? Do we see any circulation on the radar? What I can see. So, we're playing it here. We're going to give it a second. Alright. Alright, so what I can see here is we got a little bit here, okay? We got maybe something trying to develop in here. You can kind of see some broad rotation in here, trying to wrap in here. Maybe if this can get more precise, you can even see a little mid-level feature band right there. You even got some now rotation trying to be dragged into here, okay? We actually got some inflow coming into the storm here too. This is moving south. So the mid-level is moving south right now. Looks to me that the mid-level might be trying to strain the beast. We go up north here, I mean into the Georgia's coastline with Florida where that low-level center should be. Do we even see anything? And what I can see is no. I mean, absolutely nothing. Very little shower activity, even thunderstorm. I think the mid-level is going to win in this case scenario. I think we're going to get a reformation throughout tonight. Because honestly, I don't really see anything. You can kind of see that low level there. But to me, it looks like this is just continuing to go north. What's going to happen is that southern one's going to develop the mid-level. Because the mid-level and low level's separating it. Okay? If it does not, then there's probably no chance for this to develop. Alright? It's going to be interesting on what we see happen here. Okay? We got very warm waters. We got a very interesting satellite imagery that I am really trying to look for any little detail that shows me a low-level circulation developing. And I like to look at some ASAC, some weather balloons, all that stuff. But I have not been able to find that much stuff. But what I can see here is I can see a potential low-level center developing here. And this to pretty much just die. I mean, it doesn't look too healthy. If anything, what looks more healthy is this storm right here. That convection. Now, I'm very interested what's going to happen throughout tonight and for on. Okay? For so. Now we take a look at some of the models. Because why not? I mean, the herd doesn't show anything. The NAM doesn't show anything. They all believe that so that low level is going to pretty much be it. Alright? I don't believe that. Because the herd doesn't have nothing. And when I mean nothing, I mean nothing to build, no even shower and thunderstorm activity all the way into Louisiana, and then maybe you get a low pressure to develop more in the low level area. So I think the models need some recon to come in and kind of tell us what's going on, because if we had recon right now, it would be great. Alright, we take a look at the nail model here, and there is just nothing. I mean, no development. I mean, at all on the models, and I don't believe it. I mean, maybe the mid-level never drills down, and that convection just never goes, but something has me telling me that that's not going to be the case. Alright, I will be surprised if this is a bust. Okay, this could be a bust, so also, I'm not ruling that case scenario out. But we take a look at some of the hurricane models, and some 18Zs, some interesting ones. Show that low level in there, but then something maybe tries and comes off the coast, and then you can... it's HMON. HMON shows death. I mean, the halves. The new versions of the HERF and the Hemin model, the new versions, show a tropical storm, alright, into Louisiana. And I still believe that's going to be the case. We get development off the coast, that convection, this, we could get, 1,003 as we get closer here. This will be Tropical Storm Dexter, alright. Makes landfall as a 999 tropical storm with some pretty good outer bands. I mean, we're going to have to wait to 0Z, but you get some pretty good outflow bands here. You got some pretty good inflow here. I mean, you got a good tropical storm just south of Louisiana on the HVAS. Alright, this is why I'm not completely rolling this out either. And this does make a landfall. And we do talk about some major impacts. 1002 here. We got feeder bands into the Louisiana, Pensacola area, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. All these regions. Could this go a little bit more west? Yes. What we need is recon. Okay? That's the bottom line. And this does become a pretty hefty rainmaker. I mean, we take a look at the HAF's parent model. I don't know if they do 18Z. Yes, they do. That's great. Because I want to take a look at total accumulations, okay, with the latest HAFs. And I mean, this is probably a little bit over, but you are looking at a good, solid, possible foot of rain, okay? A possible foot of rain into the Louisiana area with the latest HAFs. This is very possible. We just saw it with Barry out in Texas here. Major flooding. Sorry for all the people that has passed. Very, very sad situation that has happened over there. But this could be another one of those situations, okay? And I'm not trying to worry to anyone, but please, regardless of development, take this in a serious matter, because I don't want people to underestimate, even if this does not develop. I do think this will. HAFS B kind of sees a tropical storm too. We get into 1004, 1003. I mean, better than last run. I mean, we get into a good tropical storm, very good showers and thunderstorms, and that's the HERF and the Hemin model, the new versions, showing a pretty decent 50 miles, 60 mile an hour tropical storm. Okay? The icon shows death. Alright, shows maybe some little tropical depression or tropical storm. This was showing a full-blown hurricane. Okay? This still shows a pretty good tropical storm, at least in the low 1,000 millibars, and a very slow-moving storm into Louisiana. That's why I'm not throwing this out of the table yet, is this is latest data, 18Z. But still, the models, I think, is way off, okay? I don't believe the models are really picturing the environment. I think they have been doing a pretty bad job. But I'm just showing them that I'm not being biased and just going by an opinion. I'm showing both sides. Alright, and Euro does show maybe a tropical storm last minute to develop too. A 40, 50 mile an hour tropical storm right into Louisiana. Okay. This ceiling, a ceiling for me is a high-end tropical storm right now. I'm not going any higher. But you never know. Okay. We got the RGen model too. This is 18Z. We're going to have to wait and see. Shows, I personally think we're going to get development off into the Gulf. I mean, RGen has it never really, actually. Not until it gets closer to Louisiana. And then maybe develops last second into a tropical depression. But besides that, a big rainmaker. Big time rainmaker. That is that. We look at the NAM KM, the 0Z, nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. And I think it's because it's no bin recon. It's no recon. Okay. It's just very interesting to me how this storm has been. And I'm very interested on what we are going to be seeing in the future, okay? What about the wind probes? Just interesting stuff, okay? This is, I would say, trying to develop off the coast, regardless. I mean, radar looks very interesting to me. Something seems pretty interesting, but let me go quickly get a nice little drink, and then we'll resume here. But we see some showers right here, banning there. We got some bands going like this. We kind of have this station area. And you kind of see a little mid-level rotation right there. Nothing too strong. Alright. But let me just go quickly get a drink. Thank you.